And I am live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony. I am the author of the dark, demented, and deeply gay psychological thriller, The Teacher Inside Me. I assume everyone here has read this book, and if you haven't read the book, what the hell are you doing? Do you even know who I am? Leave this live stream right now, get the book, and read it from cover to cover in one sitting, like so many other people have. And don't take my word for it. I mean, look, Read Z Discovery said, this book is horny. And it suddenly shifts into a very exciting psychological thriller in its second half. So you haven't read The Teacher Inside Me yet. You need to get off this live stream right now, read the book. But this live stream today isn't about The Teacher Inside Me. The live stream today is about not old news, but new news, because this week, my new novel was just released, and it is also a dark, demented, and deeply gay psychological thriller. It is titled Hunter's Hidden Camera. It is a scorching hot new release, but again, I'm biased. But you know who's not biased? Book critics. So look, San Francisco Book Review said it was unsettling and surprisingly poignant. Read Z Discovery calls it fun and thrilling. Bookshelfie says it grabs you in the opening pages and genuinely doesn't let go. So today's live stream is about celebrating the release of Hunter's Hidden Camera. I'm going to be reading from the book. I'm going to walk you through the evolution of the book cover, how that came to be, and I will answer all of your questions. Thanks for joining me live today. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to throw up this banner. So what state or country do you live in? Who is joining me live? Can you hear me? First of all, I had the last time I did the live stream, I had to start the live stream over like 5 times because I didn't know how to use my own software. So if you could hear me, can you please type yes into the YouTube chat box? And also let me know what state you're in, what country you're tuning in from. I would love to know where you are. I would love to know who you are. Sometimes the YouTube username is very different from your Amazon name or your Goodreads name or your Wattpad name or your email name. So I will have trouble figuring out who is who. But I do see that Amarelle is here, and I know her. She is in, I assume it's a she. Have we ever talked about this? I assume she's a she, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you're in India. So welcome. Good to have you join me. Good to see you again, or to hear from you again. No, I'm actually not seeing you or hearing from you. And Finchleberb is in New York, and I know who you are. I know who you are, but I don't know if you want me to say. I don't know if I could say your actual name, but yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'll just call you T, or I'll just call you Finchleberb, right? And Paul Thomas 4456 is here. Paul from Northern California. Hey, Paul. Good to have you here joining me live. That's great. Well, welcome everybody. Yeah, so Hunter's Hidden Camera. I first started, well, as you know, my history, as most of you know, I started out on Wattpad in 2018, writing The Teacher Inside Me, and that was fun. From 2018 to 2019, I wrote a chapter a week. Well, almost every week. I skipped some weeks for my own personal reasons, because I'm always having drama. I think some of you know. I know MRL knows that there's a lot of drama in my life. Does the drama ever go away? Those of you who are younger and wiser than I am, or older and wiser than I am, does the drama ever go away? That's what I want to know. So I started writing Teacher Inside Me on Wattpad, finished up in 2019, immediately started on Hunter's Hidden Camera, serialized that week by week. And yeah, and then both books got banned for whatever reason. But yeah, okay. So oh, I forgot that I could pin comments. Remember this cool feature? Hey, I'm paying $17.99 to run this live stream, so I'm going to use all the cool features here. So, uh, oh, yeah, pin this. So that's Emerald from India. We've got Tyler from New York, Paul from Northern California. Paul, where in Northern California are you? I visit there often because I have a lot of friends there. Um, and yeah, Tyler. We have oh, it's Karan from Pennsylvania. Hey, hey, good to see you. See you, hear you. I can't see you or hear you, but I'm glad you could join. And yeah, and Emerald tells me the drama never goes away. I don't know if that's okay. Maybe I should just get used to it, right? Um, and Paul Thomas says he's in Hayward. Yeah, I think that's I think they call it the East Bay, North Bay, East Bay, I believe, right? East Bay. I think so. Well, yeah. So Hunters in Camera. Yeah. So then the two books got banned from Wattpad, and then I disappeared off of Wattpad for as you know many years. It didn't end up publishing The Teacher Inside Me officially till 2025, last year in June, and released it, and then disappeared again, and then decided to finally edit and release Hunters in Camera. It was yeah, a fun process. So I edited the book, I sent it off to a proofreader, and then I worked extensively with a cover artist. And I wanted to walk you through the process here. So yeah, let's go back a little bit. So yeah, wrote Hunters in Camera chapter by chapter, week by week on Wattpad. I had tens of thousands of what I call beta readers, readers on Wattpad, but they're giving me comments, inline comments, line by line, paragraph by paragraph. And it really shaped the way that the story developed going forward. If anything was a little bit wonky or confusing to people, I would try to correct it in the next chapter. Finally finished it. What an accomplishment I felt, because it's hard for me to finish anything. As some of you know, I've started things that I never finished. So I was so happy to finish Hunters in Camera. So it was really interesting picking up Hunters in Camera 5-6 years later, edited it, sent it off to a proofreader who proofed it for me, and then came time to do the book cover, because I had a couple different book covers that I used on Wattpad that I basically designed myself on Canva, which is kind of a what do you even call it? It's a art studio app thing that you subscribe to. Anyway, I designed a couple book covers on Canva, changed them over time, used stock photos and all that stuff. They look pretty bad, but not as bad as most of the covers on Wattpad, so I felt okay about it. But of course, I wanted a professional cover for the official Amazon release. And yeah, so when that time came, I scoured the internet. I was on Fiverr, I was on Upwork, I was on DeviantArt, I was on all these different art sites, Instagram, and I looked at a ton of different artists, and I really wanted to capture this kind of interesting, gritty, photorealistic style. And I found one artist, and his name, or his username, or his artist name is Van Gega, Vangega. And I looked at his work, and though it wasn't sort of like an obvious fit, because he's more kind of sci-fi fantasy, but if you look at his work, you could find him on Instagram here. Here, you can look at some of his work here. This is Van Gega's work. So find him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. Really interesting work. Again, not necessarily the exact style of my book, but there was something really compelling about what he was doing in terms of his composition, his aesthetic, his style. There's his Instagram post about Hunters in Camera. But what do you think of his other work? So you've seen the Hunters in Camera work, but you haven't really seen his other work unless you kind of dug into it. But what do you think of this work? I really loved it, and he reached out to me. I posted a job on Upwork, and he was one of the many, many people who reached out to me. And I looked at dozens and dozens of different artists, and he had a really compelling portfolio, and he had a really compelling pitch. He seemed to get what I wanted and what I described. So I was like, hey, I think this is my guy. But yeah, basically I said, I want a gritty, photorealistic cover for an gay thriller, and he was like all in. So I was like, yeah, I think this is my dude. I mean, what do you think of this dude? And what do you think of the cover, y'all? Catching up with comments here. Paul says Hayward is the heart of the bay, but we call ourselves the armpit of the bay. I think that's a disparaging remark about armpits, but some of us do have that armpit fetish, so I don't know if it's such a bad thing. Tyler says, I was so upset that I missed it on Wattpad. Screw them, lol. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what do you think of Van Gega's work? I'm gonna walk you through the process of getting the final book cover. And again, so take a look. This is the final book cover, but it took quite a bit of time and quite a bit of money to get there. So basically, I wrote up a concept, and I gave him sort of like a sample pose that I wanted, and I had to give him sort of output specs. So Amazon has very specific specs for you to upload in terms of your cover, whether you want the cover to be ebook or paperback or both. So I had to give him all those specs, right? And I had to give him sort of the kind of character that I wanted on the cover. And the comp that I gave him, I said, in terms of the face and the head, I want Nicholas Hoult energy. And I had downloaded a bunch of Nicholas Hoult photos that I had him use as reference. And I was going to upload them here, but I realized that they may be copyrighted. So I don't want to get a copyright strike because I get in trouble with so many platforms that I didn't want to just risk it. So if you just Google Nicholas Hoult, I wrote that I want Nicholas Hoult energy, not the exact same face, but that kind of look and energy. And so I said, Nicholas Hoult energy, handsome, sharp features, slightly haunted, with light brown hair that's messy, shaggy. And I said, reference images of Nicholas Hoult attached, but the face should not match exactly. Vibe only. Level of handsomeness reference. Lean, tone, runner's build, track athlete. Defined, not bulky. And then I also attached some reference images of the kind of body that I wanted. So I got into a lot of detail in the creative brief. So not only to describe the pose, I described his expression and gaze. I described the position of the arm. I described the spy camera, the kind of realism and rendering style, and the composition and layout, and the colors as well. And so I'm not going to read it all because it's long. It's a really, really long creative brief. And he took all that and he came up with a sketch. And this was the initial sketch that he came up with for me. So this was sketch number 1. And What do you think about his first? This was his first pass, and I think he has a YouTube video somewhere, maybe on Instagram or his DeviantArt profile or his ArtStation profile, showing you the process of creating um, from start to finish the sketch to the final image. Not of this particular project, but of a different project. But you see how much work goes into making an illustration like this. So this was his first sketch, and I'll read to you my response. And I'm reading all these responses and showing you all the sketches because I want to show you uh, how long of a complicated of a process this is, because to get to this final version, you go through a number of steps, and that's why it takes a lot of time, and that's why it costs some money if you want a really good book cover, right? So yeah, so I got this sketch from him, and I wrote, hey, this is really great work. I love the composition, the mood, the camera prominence, and the character design. Before you move into color lighting, I'd like a few adjustments. And I wrote, one, the head gaze. Please turn his head, face, and eyes more to the left, away from the camera viewer, like he's avoiding eye contact. It's okay if part of his face is primarily obscured. That adds mystery. So you have him here actually looking at the camera. And I had a long discussion with another artist friend of mine. He's an animator. And he really liked Hunter looking at the camera. And I really wanted Hunter looking away at the camera. So we had this long argument about whether Hunter, and this is the level of detail that goes into developing this, and people don't realize that these little discussions are happening behind the scenes. It's like, is it better if he looks at the camera, or is it better if he looks away from the camera? And I had it in my mind that it was better to look at the way away at the camera. My friend, whose opinion I respect a lot, said look at the camera. I'm wondering, you all who are joining me live right here, I mean, what do you think? Do you like the idea of him looking at the camera or looking away from the camera? So my instinct was look away from the camera, and so that's what I said in the end. And then I said about the camera size, I said the camera currently feels too large and reads like an action cam GoPro. Please make it smaller and more compact, like a cheap plastic mini spy camera. Mundane, not futuristic. The title of the book is Hunters in Camera, so it should read as a hidden device. If making it smaller reduces clarity at thumbnail size, you can compensate by bringing his hand and camera closer to the viewer, stronger force perspective, and keeping the lens clearly readable. So what I mean by that is that even though this this illustration looks great at larger sizes, you really have to optimize the illustration for looking at the Amazon book cover on a mobile phone. And as you know, they're really, really small on a mobile phone. So everything has to be optimized for that. And with the advent of mobile phones and sort of mobile reading, book covers have had to really evolve over the years to accommodate for how small book covers look on a phone when you're scrolling. And the object is to have a book cover so compelling that it stops the reader from scrolling. And if you don't accommodate for that small thumbnail size, you really can't, you're in trouble. So if you go to Amazon right now and just kind of scroll the books, you'll see a lot of book covers where the title of the book, if you're on mobile, the title of the book is not very clear. The image is not very clear. And those people are making a mistake because they're optimizing the image for a large computer or for an actual book cover, right? For an actual physical book cover. And although that is ultimately what you want, a really good paperback book cover, you also need to be readable and identifiable and stop the scroll on mobile phones. So we always have to adjust for that. And yeah, so those were my notes to him. And then he came back with this. And he put the title and the my author name there in order to just show me what it would look like. So that's not the real typography. I worked with a friend of mine to do the typography. He wasn't responsible for any of the typography. He was just responsible for the illustration. So this was just his placeholder so that I could see that the typography would fit. So this was his next rendering. And this is sketch, the second sketch. And yeah, so he sent me the second sketch and I said, this is really great. You can move forward to color lighting. One thing to keep in mind is that the camera needs to be readable when the book cover is at thumbnail size. So around that camera area, pay attention to lighting, color contrast. I know I told you to reduce camera size, but you have my permission to bump up the camera size if necessary, even if it breaks realism a little. This is up to you and your expert opinion. As a reference, visit Amazon on mobile and search Thriller. There you will see the size of the book covers in search. This will give you context, and you'll also see how terrible a lot of the book covers are. LOL. Thank you. So I gave him that note, and then we'll move on to the next, but let's catch up with some of the comments here. Amarel says, away is better, babe. So yeah, looking away is better. I mean, I thought so. Tyler said, him looking at the camera is good, but the final product of him looking away, I think, works better. I feel it suits his eventual feelings about it better. Yeah, that's my exact thought about it. You know, so my friend, artist friend, whose opinion that I respect, he hadn't read the book yet, right? So my whole idea was that Hunter does not want to look at the camera because he is so ashamed at what he had done. So that's why I thought him looking at away would be better. So anyway, Van Gega's next step was to add the color. And this was his next rendering. And this is without all of the texture and all of the blood. So this was just to get the color down, and that was his next pass. And this is sketch, I think he called it sketch 2C with the color. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, to go from concept to the first sketch and to moving his head away to the color, he's really starting to fill it in now, as you could see. And I wrote to him about this particular rendering. I said, I really love what you've done here. The lighting and mood are really strong. I love the color palette. The warm skin tones against the dark background look great and feel gritty. Nice dark to light gradient across his body. Some notes as you continue on. 1, camera value separation. When I look at the image at thumbnail size, about 10% of your JPEG, I don't think the camera looks clearly separate from the background or his hands and fingers. Can you provide a greater contrast between the camera, the background, and the hand fingers? I leave it up to you to decide if this is a color issue or a lighting issue. So my issue with this was that I felt like the dark color of the camera blended too much with the dark color of the black background. Thumbnail size. So if you look at it on mobile, I felt like it blended in too much. Then I wrote number 2, are you able to make a couple adjustments to his face? Please lighten the deep shadow lines around the mouth and cheeks, the strong lines from the nose down to the corners of the mouth. I do like how dramatic this makes the image, but the shadow lines and darkness make him older. We want to make sure he reads late teens. So I gave him some notes about the lighting. Then I said, for the same reason as above, can you please make his eyes a little bigger and more open, less heavy eyelids? Again, I felt concerned that he looked too old and not as an 18-year-old high school dude. And then I wrote, body hair subtle. I wrote, show some armpit hair. Again, not bushy or crazy, just enough so we can see a little bit. Reference image attached. So I attached a reference image of armpit hair because I didn't want it totally blank there. And then I said, number 5, body hair 2, below his belly button area, can you add a thin trail of hair? Reference image attached. Once you make these adjustments, you can move on to adding the blood and the dirt and the grime, about the same amount as the reference that I gave you in the creative brief. Just make sure there's not too much stuff on his body around the camera area so that the camera remains distinct. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this. So then he went to the next step, and this is his next pass. All right, so he's adjusting the camera. We've got some more body hair, and he's adjusting the sort of size here. So we go from here to here. Can you see the difference here? So he's trying to make the camera bigger and just pulling the body back a little bit, right? Pretty interesting, right? Who's texting me? Who's DTF right now? Hang on, I gotta hang on. Hang on. Okay. DTF later, dude. All right. So, okay, here to here. Okay. So we go here, and this is, it's called, let's see, this is image 19, and I wrote, I love the adjustments, exclamation point. The camera reads much clearer now, and your instincts about body object placement are perfect. His face reads younger, so this is exactly right. You've got the right amount of body hair. I like how you further define the belly button. The only note I have is that the hair might need some color adjustment for slightly clearer definition, but I'm not sure about that yet until the blood, dirt, grime on the body is finalized. We'll have to see how those final details contrast with everything. This is so close to being finished. I'm so happy with this. So, when you're working with a cover artist, you really want to pump them up and give them all that positive reinforcement before you kind of give notes, right? So then this is his next pass, right? He's adjusting some of the color, and then if you look at the hair, he's refining that a little bit more, right? Look at the difference in hair, right? So this is number 1, and then number 2. Yeah. So he's making adjustments as he goes along, right? And he's lightening it up, right? And so this is number 20, and I wrote, this is amazing. It really captures a blend of hot danger thriller energy. A few more notes and we're done. 1, since the hand is in shadow, can you make the blood on his fingers brighter? Oh, have we gotten to the blood yet? I'm sorry. Here we go. There we go. So this is where he adds the dirt and the grime and the blood. And so I said, since the hand is in shadow, can you make the blood on his finger brighter, fresher, wetter, so it's more visible at thumbnail size? Can you horizontally expand the patch of blood that's on his upper chest and vertically expand the patch of blood that's on his lower torso? We just need more so it's more visible at thumbnail size. Maybe add a bit of blood to the neck, shoulder blade area, and his arm. The current version is perfect if we're just working with an actual print book, but everything needs to be slightly exaggerated for Amazon thumbnails. After this next pass, I think you'll be ready for the deliverables. And then this is his final pass. And yeah, so we went from this to this to this to this to this to this, and then finally, this is the final version without the typography. And then we work to put the typography in, and this is the final version. And of course, I want all my books to have the same aesthetic. So I went back to him to uh, develop the revised book cover to The Teacher Inside Me to match the aesthetic and then also the typography. And I'll walk you through that process probably in the next live stream. There's actually some controversy around this book cover, and I was going to talk about it today, but I decided I actually don't want to talk about that today. I just want to focus on Hunter's Hidden Camera today because this is the book launch party for Hunter's Hidden Camera. But you could see the matching aesthetic here, right? So the typography matches, right? Yeah. So that's the process. I mean, what do you think? What do you all think of that process? Uh, yeah, Amaral, Tyler, Karan, Paul, if you're all still here, I mean, what do you think of the process? What do you think of the final cover? Um, it was a long process. It cost some money, but we did it, and I really, really love it. I'm really proud of the work that Van Gogh did, and I want to continue working with him over and over again. And Tyler says, him looking at, you already got it. Tyler says, getting to see the evolution of the cover is so cool. Yeah, I thought so. I mean, for it to go from an idea in my head to get to this is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing that you could just have an idea about something, and then an artist could really take it and really work hard at rendering something so great. I mean, I really, really love it. I mean, you don't. I really wanted something that really stood out from all the different thriller covers. So if you go to Amazon, you just like search thrillers, they all kind of look at the same. And I was like, I don't want that. And then if you look at most gay fiction books, they most look the same also. And I really wanted something that really stood out and was really different. And I'm really, really happy about that. So I'm really happy about this. Yeah. Any questions about the process of working with an artist or designing the book cover or anything about writing the book before I get into my live reading? You must have some questions for me. Amaral says, yeah, that's really cool process, isn't it? All the details, the end product had the right details you wanted, right? Yeah, I mean, when you get into, you really have to get into it, right? I mean, the level of detail that I got into was pretty intense. I mean, I don't know if most people go into that level of detail or if Van Gogh is used to that level of detail. But if you're paying money for this, you really want it to be the way that you want it to be, right? So he was great to work with for this process and for The Teacher Inside Me second edition cover as well. So I will work with him on the third book. And I'll talk about the third book, which I'm hoping will be released at the end of this or near the end of this year. I'm aiming for October, but we'll see. It's slow going. I don't know if it's I don't know. We'll see. Writing is hard, y'all. I think some of you all write, right? I know Karan does, but writing is fun. It's the funnest thing in the world, but it's one of the hardest things in the world sometimes. For reals. Tyler says making your own covers is one thing, but having an artist do it and being able to fully realize the vision for it is probably one of my biggest goals eventually. Yeah, yeah. Let me know if you need any tips about working with an artist and stuff. But that's great. What book are you working on? You working on a book? Do you write books? Maybe you write on Wattpad, or maybe you have books on Wattpad already. I don't know. All right. Let me read from the first chapter of the book. Yeah. People people who don't, I don't know, some people don't get my writing, but there's a certain rhythm to my writing. It's meant to be heard out loud or read out loud, especially the teacher inside me. They're like, that's his writing is weird. It's kind of stilted. Is his writing AI? It's like, dude, I wrote the teacher inside me in 2018 before anybody knew what ChatGPT fucking was. It's not fucking AI. It's my style. It's my rhythm, dudes. Yeah, I mean, remember the first paragraph of the teacher inside me? Yeah, it's written in fragments, right? So if you read it on the page, it might throw you off a little bit. You're like, why is he writing in fragments? Does he know what grammar is? Does he know how to write sentences? Or is this AI rendering because it's in these like fragments? It's like, no, this is how I write. It's stream of consciousness, first person present. First chapter of Teacher Inside Me. First paragraph, right? I can't believe he's wearing that cologne again. Today, of all days, a test day. A day when we get handed an exam with a series of questions about the Anton Chekhov play, The Seagull. A day when we have to scribble answers in the form of short essays to prove not only that we read the play from beginning to end, but also that we thought about it deeply. First line, why do you always wear black? Last line, the fact is he shot himself, and everything in between. There's a certain rhythm and a style I'm going for there, folks. It's not that I don't know grammar, for the love of Christ, and it's not AI because I wrote this in 2018. It's because I have a style of writing. I'm not trying to write like everybody else. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with people? Finchel Tyler says, I do write on Wattpad. I have 12 to 13. Whoa, what the fuck? 12 to 13 books? You write more than I do. I have 12 to 13 books up, several unfinished because I love writing, but I also absolutely hate writing. Haha, I know how you feel. 12 to 13 books. Amazing. Are you thinking of publishing on Amazon? I would be so mad if someone accused me of AI to write. That is such an awful thing to say to someone. Yeah, you know what I'm fucking really pissed about the most is that I have had to police myself on using M dashes. I didn't know this was a thing. If you go online and just look at people who, it's like, how do you identify AI writing? This isn't especially true on Reddit. Reddit is a fucking cesspool, dude. They're like, oh, this book is AI, or this post is AI because you used M dashes. Fucking M dashes. I forever, when I first started writing since I was a kid, I love M dashes. There are some things that are just, some sentences are just better with M dashes. And these people are now saying AI uses M dashes a lot. So if you see M dashes, it's definitely AI. What are you freaking talking about? First of all, AI is trained on human writing. And the only reason AI uses M dashes is because humans use M dashes. And, just for fun, I just randomly went to my bookshelf, pulled a couple books off the shelf. So I love Raymond Carver. I don't know if you know Raymond Carver, but he's a famous short story writer. I pulled J.D. Salinger off of my shelf, opened it up to a random page. M dash is fucking everywhere, dude. So are you telling me Raymond Carver, who wrote in the, I don't know, was it 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever? Uh, J.D. Salinger, was that in the 60s? There was no fucking AI fucking 40, 60 years ago or whatever it was. So are you telling me J.D. Salinger was written by AI? Except somebody brought up the example of Jane Austen using M dash. Was Jane Austen writing with AI? People are fucking idiots, dude. As you can see, I'm very pissed off about this because I was writing a story and the first sentence I really needed to use an M dash. And I was like, I can't use an M dash in the first sentence because people are going to accuse me of being an AI written. It is crazy, dude. So I was thinking about trying to take back, authors need to take back the M dash. So I was like, we need to start this campaign. And I was thinking like, I'm by no means, I'm not an influencer. I'm not really on YouTube at all, but it's like some YouTube people, some influencers, some TikTok people need to make these videos that are titled, I should do a video titled, if you think using an M dash is AI, you're a fucking idiot. And just shame people into thinking that if they think M dash means AI, that they're an idiot. So if you shame people enough, then that will make them not want to think that using an M dash is AI. That's the only way. You make people feel like they're stupid for thinking that. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy, folks. I promised myself not to go into a rant, go into a rant on this live stream, but for some reason, I always seem to default to rant. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why do I always default to that? I think Karan is a therapist. I really need some therapy. Tyler says, I would be so mad if someone accused me of using AI to write. That is such an awful thing to say to someone. I know, right? I mean, it's like, can we be innocent before proven guilty? I hate false accusations. I really do. I've considered publishing my books, but as it stands right now, I don't want to make money off of something that I do for enjoyment because I don't want it to feel like a chore. Yeah. That's why I started writing on Wattpad in the first place, right? Like, as you all know, like I've kind of like freelanced on and off between my day jobs for a while, and it's basically writing for money, writing stuff that you don't want to write for money. But hopping on Wattpad where I could just write for fun. That's why I joined Wattpad in the first place. And then kind of transitioning into self-publishing has been quite the journey. I learned a lot from publishing the first book, learned a lot from publishing the second one, and hopefully by the third book I will have perfected the process. I don't know. Tyler says, people saying that M dashes are the biggest tell of AI have never opened a single book in their lives. I'm convinced too. It's like if you read books at all, you know that M dashes are just a regular part of writing. It's a great punctuation. I may overuse M dashes, but I love them. I love them. I think Teacher Inside Me has a lot of M dashes in that first chapter, even. I think. I'm looking at it right now. That's some. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, dude. I use a lot of M dashes. Yeah, so I was using AI in fucking 2018. I gotta stop cursing. Am I gonna get banned on YouTube also? Can you curse on YouTube? I don't even know. All right, am I reading from the first chapter of The Hunters in Camera? This is how it's supposed to sound, folks. I know grammar. For the love of God. I know grammar, I'm not AI. This is how Hunter's voice sounds. All right, Hunters in Camera. Chapter 1, BDE. My brother has big dick energy. He walks tall as if he's purposefully stretching out his body, a real life Mr. Fantastic. His head held high, but kind of cocked to the side, like he's sizing up the world and impressed with what he sees. His arms swing almost carelessly, taking up more space around him than he needs. He's got very visible swagger, his right foot landing on the ground a bit wider than his left one, landing a little crooked as a way to make room for the almost always noticeable bulge in his pants. But despite all this, despite the way he carries himself, he doesn't come across as arrogant. His confidence is quiet. You can see it when you catch a glimpse of him alone, like when he's cooking salmon and vegetables for himself for lunch, or when he's shooting basketballs in the backyard. You can also see it in the way he interacts with others, the care with which he talks to people, familiar and strange, and the friendliness he brings to almost every encounter. I mean, I guess if you have a dick that big, life is all sunshine and blue skies, and you want to be friendly to everybody. God, I hate him. It's not that I have a micro penis or anything. I think I'm proportional or at least average or at least almost average, but it's hard to tell because most of the dicks I see are in porn and that's not the real world. I'm 18, my brother's 21, and I have now resigned myself to the fact that I'll never catch up. I'm thinking all this while digging in one of my brother's dresser drawers, the one with all his underwear in it. He rotates between boxer briefs, trunks, and briefs, all different colors, some with patterns. He's got designer brands like Calvin Klein and Diesel, but he's also got some targeted at the youth market from stores like Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister. There are also a few very basic Fruit of the Loom and Hanes thrown in there, probably left over from his high school days. Sometimes I wonder if his underwear works the same way a costume works for a superhero. Peter Parker is just Peter Parker, but when he puts on his Spider-Man outfit, he's a man transformed. He's more confident, feels more powerful. Same goes for Iron Man, Ant-Man, most of them. Is my brother just a normal person brimming with insecurities and worries whose BDE only turns on when tidy whities are wrapped around him? My brother, his name is Nash, is away at college, currently a senior, majoring in business, and my parents are on vacation in Las Vegas. So I have the house to myself this morning. I grab one of Nash's white Calvin Klein trunks. I'm jealous that he could rock these like a model. He wouldn't look out of place next to Noah Centineo and Shawn Mendes, who broke the internet when their hot underwear ads were released. Again, it's not that I'm out of shape or some kind of freak of nature. I'm actually pretty fit, pretty athletic, and pretty much the best track athlete at my school. It's just that compared to Nash, I feel like nothing. I wonder if most younger siblings feel this way, particularly the ones with brothers and sisters who are superstars. I mean, dick and underwear envy aside, he's also quite popular among his peers, fun to be around, the kind of person that every girl wants to date and every guy wants to be. He is also smart and has always done well in school, always turning out to be every teacher's favorite. Some of the teachers I have still ask about him. How's Nash doing? And what's new with your brother? And so on. On top of that, he has the perfect relationship with Alessandra, his sexy longtime girlfriend, 5 years and counting, who he's been dating since high school. She's also a college senior now, same school, majoring in art history. Me? I have my fair share of friends and people seem to like me, but I'll never be prom king or anything. I'm a good student, but I'll never charm teachers the way my brother does. And although I've had a girlfriend since junior year of high school, I'm a senior now, we're far from perfect for each other. The fact is, I am as queer as a rainbow flag, but nobody knows. People would be surprised that I like guys and only guys. They may even be shocked because I've kept this secret very well hidden, lying to people's faces my entire life. I've tried to pray the gay away, forced myself to look at naked women, try to like it, started dating girls in the hope that it would change me. None of it worked, not even a little bit. Honestly, if I were to come out as gay, I don't think my parents would disown me. Okay, well, maybe at first. And I don't believe my friends would hate me. Okay, well, maybe a little. And Emma, my girlfriend, is such a kind and understanding person that I think after some initial disappointment, she would be supportive of me and we could probably end up being good friends. Okay, well, maybe not. Best case scenario with everybody in my life, lots of initial awkwardness giving way to a new normal. Not bad considering how bad it could get. But no matter how optimistic I spin the outcome, I can't bring myself to come out. Somehow I still equate being gay as being less than, as not normal. I mean, the city that I live in, Point Liberty, a small suburb of Los Angeles, is pretty conservative. Effeminate guys and butch girls walking down the street get judgmental side glances from most of the population here. And bullying at school is a common thing, no matter how many respect each other signs the administration puts up around campus. But even more insidious than the lack of tolerance in this town, I'm part of a big Irish Catholic family where milestones in life are marked by things like traditional weddings and births. So, from a very young age, I've always felt out of place. I think there are several gay people in my extended family, but nobody ever talks about them. For example, my uncle Martin always shows up to weddings alone and has dance moves that make me wonder. And my cousin Patricia comes to funerals with her roommate, Joe, whose hair is cropped a bit too short for comfort. And there are a few aunts we never see who are whispered about in private conversations. Will I turn out like one of them one day? Will I sway all by myself on dance floors at wedding receptions? Will I introduce people to a roommate with a wink and a nudge? Or will I mostly be forgotten, reduced to a mysterious anecdote or cautionary tale for kids who are still growing up? If I ever develop the courage to come out, it probably has to be far away from the city, far away from my family. But that's not something I'm going to worry about right now. My thoughts wander back to the present. I feel the fabric of Nash's underwear with my fingers. Soft, smooth. I lift his briefs up to my nose and inhale. The smell of laundry detergent is strong, but I can still catch a whiff of my brother. He has a pleasant natural scent about him, musky and manly. I should feel like a pervert being here, doing this, but I've done this so often, exploring my brother's clothes, burying my face in them, that it's second nature, just something I do. I'm not going to feel bad about it because I've never been caught. If I ever am, it might be a whole different story, my feelings. If a tree falls in a forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? If a queer boy sniffs his brother's underwear and he doesn't get caught, does he feel shame? I take off my pajama pants and slide off my American Eagle boxer briefs. I put on my brother's Calvins. In terms of our physical build, we're about the same size, so the underwear fits properly. But for me, there seems to be some extra room in the crotch area, as if it's been stretched out by my brother, as if his package demanded more space and pushed the fabric outward. I take the underwear off, as well as my tank top, and lie on my back on my brother's bed, naked. I place his underwear between my teeth and close my eyes. I move my hand down, down, down. I'm not going to tell you what I think about as I stroke it. All you need to know is that I'm probably going to hell. All right, and that's the end of chapter 1. What'd you think of my reading of chapter 1 of Hunters in Camera? That's how it's supposed to sound, folks. Yeah, it was a really fun book to write. Point Liberty is based on a city close to here, where I am in Southern California, a city that I grew up in. Yeah, that's the pattern. I don't think that you'll be able to. I don't know if any of you can guess because there are a lot of suburbs of Los Angeles. A lot of Los Angeles County is really big, has lots of cities, but this is based on one of them, and sort of the different stores and landmarks and stuff that are referenced are based on real places. Yeah. So let me know what you think of the cover, what you think of that reading, what you think of. Yeah. And if you have any questions about Hunters in Camera, ask it now because we are live. So yeah, I thought my third book, which I hope to finish and release in October. As many of you know, I started serializing a new book on Wattpad called Hunter's Hidden Camera. I'm sorry, Hunter's Hidden Camera, called How to Escape a Cult. And I think I released the first, I don't know, 6 or 7 chapters. And then I kind of stopped, kind of lost steam on Wattpad. I don't know, Wattpad has really changed over the years since I first started writing on there. So I took it down, but I'm writing it right now. I plan to take my own little writing retreat. Drive down. I'm going to drive myself down to like a casino resort, maybe like in San Diego or something, or Temecula. There are these like casino resorts, right? So my thought was that I would go out for 2 or 3 days, and then I would spend all day. I would spend all day writing, and then I would only come out for meals, right? I would lock myself in my hotel room, write, and then I would come out at night to gamble. I like gambling. Maybe I'll go down with my cousin. You know, my cousin counts cards at the blackjack table. Yeah, he's I don't know if he's banned from some of these places, but yeah, hopefully I can finish this book and release it. But so far, I think it's going to be my best book yet. I mean, I think the writing is really strong, so I'm really excited about it. I mean, as you know, the Teacher Inside Me and Hunters in Camera were first written, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. And I feel like I'm such a better writer now, right? I mean, you would hope that from book to book you get better and better. So the third book I think will be even better, and I'm excited about the story and the characters and all the twists and turns and all that stuff. Let's catch up with the chat here. Tyler says, when I first read the book, the first chapter caught me off guard, but it hooked me so good, and I knew I was in for one hell of a ride of a book. Yeah, caught you off guard. Why? Because of the weird incest stuff. Notice I never mentioned the word incest in the book or any of the marketing materials. You just infer some of this. And you know, my whole style is kind of taking these weird tropes on Wattpad and then like hijacking them, right? So with my first book, I was like, okay, this teacher-student thing trope is so stupid. I'm going to take it, I'm going to hijack it and turn it into something new. And then I was like, oh, this weird incest stuff on Wattpad is so crazy. I'm going to take it. It's usually stepbrothers, but I'm like, okay, you want crazy? Let's make them blood brothers and see what people say. So, yeah, that's just my style. I like taking these kind of weird tropes on Wattpad and just twisting them, right? Emerald says, sweetheart, when are we going to get the bonus chapters? I want me some of Hunter and Oscar. Also talk a bit more about the next book if you can. Love the cover. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't get the bonus chapters out in time for the book release, but I will go back to working on them. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the bonus chapters will involve Hunter or Oscar. I think they will involve one, the Bukkake boy twink in the sex club. I think is going to be one chapter, like his prep before he went to the sex club. And I thought maybe also the story of Blanca's two brothers, um, Manny and I can't remember the other character's name, Manny and but his two brothers and the way that they stalked Blanca's attacker and hurt him. Yeah, but I wanna because I really think that one day I could possibly work on a Hunter's Hidden Camera sequel that would that yes. So yeah, and if so, I want to save, you know, uh, 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 yeah, I think I want to save some of the Hunter stuff, not for the bonus chapters, but for the sequel. So can you wait? I mean, I don't know how long it'll take me to get to the sequel. But my idea is to finish How to Escape a Cult, release it in October, and then go back to the Teacher Inside Me uh, sequel. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think that's the order of things. Because wouldn't you love a Teacher Inside Me sequel? I mean, I started writing it on Wattpad long ago. Never ended up finishing it or releasing it or anything like that. Um, but yeah, I think that's the goal because I think that's a really good story as well. And I'm excited to share. I mean, I have all these like unfinished works that I really have to finish, and I think I could do it if I go to a resort casino and lock myself in the in my room, right? Oh, but hey, I wanted to let you know that you all wanted smut, right? So I wrote smut. I wrote a short smut story. It's called Pizza Boy. And once I get off of this live stream, I will send out a newsletter to my list, and it's going to have a link to this short erotica smut story because all of you are pervs. I know I get a lot of complaints about how there's not enough spicy or steamy scenes in the Teacher Inside Me and Hunter's Hidden Camera. But folks, I'm trying to be a serious author here. I'm trying to write literary fiction, and blend it with sort of like genre storytelling. But you want me to write all this like nasty stuff. So I was like, and then I was like, hey, a lot of people think I'm not capable of writing nasty stuff. I am capable. I wrote smut just for you, and I released it in book form, and you could get it for free. And I'll let you know how after this live stream. Check out the newsletter. I'll type it up after I have breakfast. It's really early in the morning, dude. Tyler says, Wattpad has kind of gone to shit a lot in the last few years, especially. I've been on the platform for 11 years, just hit 11 last month, and the ways it's changed makes me feel so mad. Yeah, I feel that. It's just not what it used to be. It used to be so fun to be on there. It just seems like a graveyard over there. So I really don't want to be on there much anymore. So I'm just going to release my books on my own. Emerald says, yeah, I could definitely wait. I'm excited about the cult book too. So it's all good, babe. Yeah, so I think it's going to go How to Escape a Cult in October. In the spring, I'll hopefully release the sequel to The Teacher Inside Me. I had originally wanted to name the sequel to The Teacher Inside Me Higher Education. I know that when I started publishing the chapters of the sequel on Wattpad many years ago, it was called Higher Education. But there are so many other books called Higher Education that I can't call it that anymore. So I think the title of the sequel is going to be The Freshman Behind You. And yeah, I think so. That's the working title right now. And Amarel says, agree with Tyler. Wattpad has gone to shit over the last few years. Yeah. Curious about the Pizza Boy thing too, the back and forth dialogue between them. Yeah, I gave you a little preview in one of my newsletters in the past. But I have expanded on it, and I hope you like it. I really am curious, Tyler, Emerald, Paul, Karan, whoever's still here, and anybody watching the live stream, the replay of the live stream, really let me know what you think about my first attempt at smut, at complete smut. But again, of course, I can't follow the rules, and I wanted to do something a little bit different with it. So it's smut comedy. I mean, is there a lot of smut comedy? I don't know if there's a lot of smut comedy. I was like, I'm going to do a little twist to this and make it a little bit more literary. So I'm calling it smart smut, or literary erotica, or highbrow heat. How about that? Because I always want to do something a little different. Anyway, we're at the hour mark. Hunter's In Camera is out. I think we were the number 4. I think the highest we reached was number 4. LGBTQ plus thriller, new release on Amazon, and I'm excited about that. In terms of overall thrillers, I think we cracked the top. I think we hit number 12, maybe 12, 13, 14 of all the LGBTQ thrillers. I think we were like number 12. Hopefully within this month we could reach even higher. I don't know that Teacher Inside Me ever reached that high, so that's pretty exciting. Can I get into the top 10, please? Can I get to number 1? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Any kind of last things you want to talk about before I log off and go about my day? Thank you again for joining me today. Thank you for being Wattpad OGs. Thank you for everybody who's joined me recently. I really love keeping in touch with everybody who reads my work. You're the reason I do this. I don't write for myself. It would be so sad if I just like in the corner going to casinos, locking myself in my room and just writing for myself. I'm glad there are people crazy enough and pervy enough to read my work and enjoy it. So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. I will hopefully live stream again, maybe in a month or two. Other than that, I will see you via email. You know how to reach me. See you in my live stream. See you in my newsletters. Yeah, see you on my website. Keep in touch, everybody. Emerald says, miss you, babe. Stay in touch. Okay, with the newsletters. I will. I will send one out in a couple hours, I hope. And yeah, with the link to not only that new smut book, but a ton of smut books by other authors. Like I think I'm going to give you access to dozens. I think maybe like 40, 50 free books. Yeah, we're just giving free books out this weekend. So hope you enjoy. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Take care.